Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my podcast. I am Martine, and this is Martine's Musings. So, today I'm going to be talking about the things that people normally don't talk about. Um, the things that we go through, the inner things that we don't say, that we don't talk about because we're ashamed. And one of the things that I know, and all of my talks are from personal experience. That's why this is called Martine's Musings, because everything is from personal experience. And one thing that I've been experiencing for years and never really talked about is imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Well, to put it in a nutshell, imposter syndrome is when you are, you're doing something like, for instance, if you've embarked on a new journey for a job, a new career, you went to school for a new thing, or like a trade school or whatever, and now you're that thing. Like, let's use plumbing, for example. You graduated from plumbing school and now you're a plumber. And you're doing the job, but you still feel like you're not good enough, like you're not a plumber, even though you're doing the job and people are telling you, hey, you really fixed my toilet really well, or you fixed my sink, or, fixed my boiler, whatever the case may be. Even though people are giving you credit for being a great plumber, you inside feel like you're fake. Like you're not really a good plumber. Like, I don't deserve to be this thing or this person. So that is what imposter syndrome is feeling like you're an imposter when you're clearly not. And I went through, and sometimes still do go through, imposter syndrome from time. It like comes and goes. I can't say that, like, I can only speak for me. Like, it comes and goes for me because then I have to give myself pep talks, and kind of, my pep talks are not your normal type of pep talk, because I have to talk to myself in a way that I'm like, look, bitch, knock it off. That's how I talk to myself. I'm like, you are what you say you are. You are an intuitive. You are a healer. You are an artist. You are a podcast host, and you are great at all these things. So stop fucking around. That's how I talk to myself. And I tell myself, stop fucking around. Stop being so dramatic. And that works for me. Not saying that that would be a good way for you to talk to yourself or give yourself a pep talk, but that's how I get out of my imposter syndrome, out of my slumps of feeling like I'm not enough or feeling like I'm not in alignment and, blah, 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 all the things. So that's how I talk to myself. I give myself tough love. I'm an Aries moon, so I'm all about the tough love and I give it to myself. Um, yeah, so imposter syndrome can be really tricky sometimes because, some people it can start off as imposter syndrome, and then if you're not careful, you can spiral into like depression, and then you don't have any productivity, then you're not doing the thing then, and you're just in this slump. So it can be really touchy. And for me, I know that the moment I start feeling that hint of the moment I start feeling that hint of, imposter syndrome, or that not enough feeling, that negative feeling, I start in on myself. Like, come on, lighten up, knock it off. You know you're good. You know you are who you are. You can do this. It doesn't matter what people are thinking. People are not even thinking about what you're doing. Because most of the time, people we're in our heads a lot more than we need to be. And we think people are thinking about us when they're not even thinking about us. Because people have their own problems. So, like I said, the minute I start in on myself, the beginning, I yeah, I cut that shit off. I cut that shit off and start giving myself more positive self-talk. So another thing that I feel like people don't talk about enough is how we're always out here. I know for me, I am, trying to find your purpose, trying to find things that resonate with you, trying to be who you're supposed to be. Because a lot of us are out here just living the lives that were put in front of us, and that we didn't go out and seek. We just graduated high school, and if you went on to college, fine, you went on to college. um Whatever, you graduated from high school or college, and then you get a job. And some people like, oh, hey, well, I'm going to go get a job at a bank. I'm going to get a job here because they have really good benefits and it has a pension. So, you know, we are just living the lives that were presented to us. A lot of people didn't go out and seek their lives and look for resonance or remembrance. And for me, I need resonance. I need that connection. I need to feel good about what I'm doing, and it has to do something for me. There has to be some sort of gratification in what I'm doing. And yeah, I could have a job and that's paying my bills, because I've been used to that corporate paycheck, that corporate environment, but I've always had something on the side that I liked to do, whether it was making me money or not. Um, I was always seeking answers, looking for resonance and in things. So finding my purpose, I don't talk about it a lot because I've had so many different interests, so many attempts at things. And some people might look at that and call that being flaky, or call that being all over the place. And it might be, but at least I tried. At least I tried. And that's one of the things that when I do get down on myself, when I say, "Oh, Martine," like when I talk to myself and I say, "Well, should should we even take this interest, this?" Because I go with my gut instincts, and just because it's a gut instinct doesn't mean that it's always correct. Okay, so whenever I'm interested in something, I try to wait for more than one nudge, because at this point in my life, I don't feel like wasting my time on shit. Back when I was in my 20s or 30s, I had interests all over the place and I was trying new things and I was doing this and I was doing that and blah, 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 blah. Fine. That's fine. But now at 51, now I wait for more than one nudge, like more than one light bulb to let me know that this is something I should pursue. Because whether it's going to be with me long term or it's going to give me something that I can put in my toolbox per se, I need to know that ahead of time now. Like I need to, like I feel like my art, for instance, my art may not, my art may not blow up. I mean, I've sold one piece since I launched, and and it may not blow up. You know, I may not make a lot of money off my art, but I really love doing it. That's the thing. So I'm going to get into that deeper because not everything is supposed to be monetized. That's another thing. Um, but getting back to finding my purpose, art has given me tools, visual abilities, like my clairvoyance. It has helped me in my clairvoyance, in my abilities, my spiritual abilities. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's not necessarily supposed to sell. You know, it can. And if that is what's meant to happen, then it'll happen. And that's why I put my art out there for those who see it and respond, get a feeling from it and love it, and then they buy it. But that's, I took what, and I'm still taking what the art, what being an artist is supposed to give me. It opened up my clairvoyance a lot. So I'm able to visualize better. I'm able to get premonitions more than I was before. I visions and things of that nature. My dreams are more vivid since I started painting. So I get that. In the beginning, I didn't get that. But now that I'm in the thick of it, I see how painting has helped my spiritual gifts. Um, so don't ever get discouraged when, you know, if you're a person like me who has many interests, okay, don't get discouraged when people tell you that you're all over the place. Fuck them, okay? Because your interests are all divinely guided, are all gut instincts from your angels. And when you follow that guidance, it's supposed to help you in some way. You may not understand it in that moment. You may not see what it's supposed to do for you, but it's supposed to help you. Or at the very least, you will take something from that experience, from that journey, and put it in your toolbox that's supposed to help you in your grander, you know, design, in your grander journey, in the bigger picture for you. Um and when I was talking about monetization, not everything is supposed to be monetized. You know, not everything that we create is supposed to be monetized and sold and put out for others to consume. And, you know, that's fine if you do that. Like, I got many nudges to put my art out before I did it. I was very hesitant. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I can't put this. I'm not an artist. Like, I'm just doing this for fun. And people say that my stuff looks nice, and I'll post it on social media, I'll create an Instagram, blah blah blah. But then it's like selling it, putting it on sale on my website. Are you kidding me? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? And that's the attitude that you have to have, is like, what's the worst that, if it's not hurting anybody, it's not, then put yourself out there. What is the worst that can happen? Okay, nobody buys it, or nobody responds. So what? But at least you tried. At least you put yourself out there. Okay? And that's the best that we can do, when we talk about finding our place and finding our purpose. Another thing that I feel like needs to be talked about but isn't, is that many things can be true at one time. And that goes for, you can be many different things at one time as well. Okay. You can be, and again, always using myself as an example, I used to think that because I had so many different interests that I wasn't allowed to, fully express those interests. I used to think that, oh, if I'm a podcast host, then I shouldn't be doing this. Like, or, if I'm a writer, then why I can't be a tarot reader, or if I'm this, then I can't be that. Yes, you can. You can do three things at one time if you want to. Okay. If you want to be a fashion designer, then design your fashions. If you want to be a podcaster at the same time, and then do that, because all of those interests can help to grow yourself and to grow what it is that you're doing. Can put your thing out, can expose yourself even more if that's what you're into. If whatever it is that you're into needs exposure for people to see, then start that podcast, write the book, start the YouTube channel, the TikTok or whatever it is. You can do various things at one time. Many things can be true at one time. You can be an author. You can be a podcast host. You can be a fashion designer. You can be a tarot reader. You can do all of those things all at one time. All right? And it's not about what um people expect from you, or what people are thinking that you should do. It's about what resonates for you, what works for you. Okay. So that is what I wanted to talk to everyone about today, because it was something that was really like sitting on my soul. Like, I wanted to say those things because I feel like, I don't know who that message was for. Um, but I feel like people needed to hear that. Aside from me, because my self-talk is very harsh, but I felt like more people needed to hear that. You know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. All right? Don't be afraid to spread your wings. It doesn't matter what people think. All right? Take up space. Take up space. And if you're taking up space in 3, 4, 5 different lanes, that's fine. That is fine. Take up all the space that you need in order to get to where you want to go. All right? That's all I have for you guys today. All right? I hope that resonated. And If you'd like to book me for a personal reading or Reiki healing, a sound healing, martinefelton.com is where you can connect with me. Follow me on my socials. All that information will be in the description and in the episode notes. And as always, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.